Let's play time. Come on, grab your friends. We'll go to very distant lands with pick in hand and mobs to kill. The fun will never end. It's Let's Play time. Hey guys, welcome back. We are playing Adventure Time Craft today, and I'm back actually from my vacation over in New York. Had a lot of fun out there, did a lot of stuff. We saw pretty much the whole city, at least, the Manhattan Island, and Staten Island, and everything else. We saw, a lot of stuff. So it's hard to name any one thing. I was on the Late Show with David Letterman. My family and I, we managed to get on the show, so we're on there. Maybe I'll put a link to that video in the description. Obviously, the episode is up on his website, or up on their website, The Late Show. You can check it out. It's the one with Louis C.K. if you know how to go ahead and find that. We're on like the far right side. It's pretty. You can't really make us out. I tried to find myself, and I couldn't do it very well. But yeah, it was pretty cool. A pretty cool experience. A lot of things I saw there. Went to the Pokemon Center, or the Nintendo World. Which the second floor is basically a Pokemon Center. It's got all kinds of Pokemon stuff up there. And yeah, and I'm back now. There's a lot to talk about. There's a lot to do, a lot to talk about, some things changing. I left off on an interesting note, I think, last time, and it's time to come back and fulfill some stuff that needs to be fulfilled. I think there's some promises that I need to come through on, and one of them is definitely playing this world more. I've got a lot of ideas, and I know I'm saying a lot. I know I'm saying a lot, of course. I have to say it one more time. But we will get to some really cool stuff. Of course, I've hit 1,500 subscribers. Woohoo! Fun! Lots of cool things there. And, ow, that actually didn't hurt at all. It's like a half heart. Thank you, Featherfalling. 1,500 subs is, I'm not gonna say it, quite a bit. So very excited about that. I might do a special, maybe. We'll see. But of course, very happy with that. I love that people are still watching my videos. That's always really cool when people leave comments and such. Today, on the agenda, I want to make a sorting system. I want to sort items, and we're going to do that with hoppers. And the way that works is if you apply a redstone signal to a hopper, it will keep some of its inventory, I believe. But we're going to experiment with a couple of different designs, and I wanted to go over to my test world, where I've been spending some time kind of messing with minecarts with hoppers. Because I'm a big minecart fan, and in fact, minecarts might have something to do with my special if I decide to make one. And I've been, again, messing around with minecarts with hoppers, doing some experiments with those, and seeing if they are worth using, which I think they are, for what I have planned, and that's going to involve basically a new structure inside of my base that I've got going on here, and we'll see how that turns out. Hopefully it'll turn out really nice. But yeah, first we'll jump over to my creative world and we will look at minecarts with hoppers. Alright, so we're out here at the minecart testing range, which I've named for no other reason than to name it because it looks cool. This is all, of course, for me, so it doesn't really need to have any titles. So I have all these are actually command blocks. This is the texture for the command block in this game, or this texture pack, which is sort of like a oh, there we go. Has sort of a C interface, a command line interface, which is kind of cool. This is the only one that's actually, or no, I didn't even use this one. I used none of these. The only thing, is the sun going down? No. It's not, right? Okay, it's not. Yeah, I would have moved by now. The only rule I have in place is the game rule that makes it so that it's perpetually day. There's no day-night cycle. Let's see if I can get over this thing. And yeah, the entire world is made out of white wool. Believe it or not, this is just regular wool. So, yeah, pretty cool. Anyways, we will head over here. Eventually, those command blocks these command blocks over here will be portals to different parts of this world, and will have different different focuses. Like one will be for minecart stations, one will be for like TNT cannons. I've had worlds set up like this before, and they're always pretty fun, and I wanted to make a new one, so that's probably what this will end up being. Anyways, this is Hopper cart testing, and I've been doing some experiments over here, kind of labeling things to get my thoughts in order on what I want to do. And yeah, we will talk a little bit about hopper carts. If you already know about hopper carts, I'm probably not going to tell you anything you don't know, but I wanted to go over my thoughts on some of the things involved with them. I really haven't used them that much in like survival. In fact, really in general, I haven't used them. I love minecarts, but I just haven't found a purpose, and I've always been put off by the sheer amount of resources it takes to make a good minecart system. Like, it takes a lot of stuff, but hopefully if we can get a gold system up and running, we can get these powered rails, things will be a lot nicer. Okay, so basic hopper cart functionality. If you guys don't know about hopper carts, this is a hopper cart. It's very simple. You take a hopper, like this guy right here, you take a minecart, you craft them together, you get a hopper cart. Very, very easy, very straightforward. For the most part, they behave like regular minecarts. We'll talk a bit more about their behavior. They move on tracks, they move on rails, but they have this hopper in them. And what you can do with a hopper, let's grab some blocks. Let's just do, I guess, grass blocks. This will be fine. If you throw an item at them, or if an item comes close enough to them, they will eat the block. So they'll just nom on it. I'm under the impression that they will pick up blocks that are a little bit higher than them, but I'm not sure really how to test that, so I might not do too much testing on that front. But yeah, basically you can feed them items. You can see it getting stored in the hopper in here, and you can pull those items out. Pretty easy. And since I have a plate under here, let's put in like 16 grass blocks. Okay, flip the lever, knock the cart over there. Guess where those grass blocks are going? You guessed it, right in the item hopper below it. So a regular item hopper can pull items out of the hopper cart. I believe that's also the case, and we'll briefly test this, because I didn't actually think about this until now. I believe that's also the case with the minecart with a chest. I think if you fill this with, let's put, 16 grass blocks in here again. We'll pull those out. So there's nothing in the hopper, 16 grass blocks in the chest. Let's move this over. And yes, it'll pull items out of the minecart with chest. Cool. Pop that off. What it won't do, and it seems like it would do this, but you can't actually do this. If you send the cart over a chest, it doesn't actually have items in it right now, but if it did, it will not fill up this chest. It won't go from the hopper cart to the chest. Obviously, if you know anything about excuse me, if you know anything about minecart rails, you know that you can't place them on top of a chest, which is too bad, because I think that's a lost opportunity. But of course, if you want to get items from a hopper cart into a chest, you simply move the hopper cart over a regular hopper, and then you take a chest, kind of like this, put one here, and if you point the hopper towards the chest, which you do simply by looking at it while you place it. So if I do this, and then you put the rail back on top, which you can do for whatever reason with a hopper, but not with a chest, and then we just take another hopper cart, put this guy back down, see it comes across, and then if we put some items in here, they get pulled through the hopper, and then they should go into the chest. Why are they not going in the chest? Oh, there's a block here. If there's any blocks above the chest, like if you can't access it, the hoppers can't access it too, which is kind of weird because nothing else seems to work that way. In modded Minecraft, at least, I don't think about that. Like, if you can't access the chest, you can still import items into it, but for some reason in vanilla Minecraft, they've made it so that you can't put items in it. Which is kind of weird, because they must have coded that indirectly. Like, if there is a block on top of it that's non-opaque, you can't put items into this. I don't know why they would do that, but whatever. Okay, now that we've talked about the basic functionality, I'll put this right here. There we go. Okay. Now that we talked about the basic functionality, let's talk about some of the physics. Basic minecart physics, at least what's relevant to our interests. This is I guess it's not like super important, but we'll go over it anyways. If you take a regular minecart We send this on its way. It goes to about right there. Let's put a lever down. So this is where it stops. If we put a hopper cart down, the same conditions, notice it goes much further. It actually has quite a bit of momentum by itself, which is sort of interesting. I believe all the different carts have different momentum values. But yeah, that is basically one interesting part of it. The other interesting part is a current glitch that's actually occurring with them. If you stack hopper carts like this, so you can see them getting stacked down here, and then you send them on their way, they will go indefinitely in any direction. So we'll go ahead and kill them. This is pretty useful. I've seen a lot of people use this for farms. What you can do is, of course, if you need your hopper carts to go across some sort of expanse, you can simply stack them and then move them across. While they're moving across, they will take in those items, and then I believe they can rejoin the track. I think. I'm not... You know what? We should test this. We should test this right now. I didn't even think to try this. Okay, let's do this. Let's see if they connect at the end here. We'll make this a little longer, just in case. Okay. I don't know if they will. I get the feeling they won't. Let me turn that off. Alright, so send this on its way. Let's see if they do. Okay, so yeah, this is one way that you can send your minecarts back and forth if you want to. So you can put rails here as well, and then simply have a lever. Once you have them stacked, they'll stay stacked, so as long as you don't do anything weird with them. Oh, I didn't mean to do that. No, I want to do that. 2, 3. You know, like, if they're stacked like this, they're going to stay this way unless you throw them off of something. So yeah, you can have them cross an expanse, and as I mentioned, oh, maybe they're getting separated? I'm not sure. If you throw down an item, they will consume that item, and then you basically would run them over. I guess you would run them over like one hopper, and then they would all pick it up. Oh yeah, of course, they stack up really nicely if you do that. Awesome, awesome, yeah, and get the rail back. Yeah, so this is a good way if you want to have like a reed farm, where you break all the reeds and they're like over the grass, or they're over dirt. You can't really send a minecart that way, but you can do it if you send them while they're stacked like that. So that's pretty cool. And it's actually, if you want to transport items across some sort of passage like that, I guess you could do it that way. Although you have to be careful because, like maybe a long path where you don't have rails. But you do have to be careful because if they do go off in the distance, they're going to be trouble to get back until they run into something anyways. Let's go over here, and we'll talk. Actually, no, we'll talk about this first. This is interaction with other hopper carts, as you might expect. A hopper cart can transmit to a hopper, which can transmit to a hopper cart. They can go down. So if we throw in this blue wool here, this will go all the way through the system into the bottom hopper. So not too difficult there. You can't apply a redstone signal to a hopper cart in the traditional way, but you can apply it using an activator rail, and we'll talk about that in a minute. But first we need to look at, actually I guess we'll talk about that right now, redstone interaction with hopper carts. This is pretty interesting, and it's something I was discovering earlier and I didn't know you could do. Okay, so here's our basic setup. A traditional, if you have the minecart, you push the minecart over and it imports into the hopper and then into the chest. And in this case, I've put a glass block here. Because it's transparent, I can access the contents of the chest, and it also means you can import items or export items to the chest from the hopper. Over here, this one has what is this? A detector rail. I should know what that is. And if you pass a minecart over a detector rail, as you guys probably know, the detector rail becomes powered and it emits a redstone signal, and it powers the block below it directly. I think if you have some redstone, let's try this. Nope, I guess not. I think it needs to be up here. Yeah, it does. Okay. Yeah, this will, of course, emit a redstone signal. and it's going to power... It's powering this space, so anything that's touching this is going to get powered, and that includes the hopper itself. And as you may know, if you power a hopper, any items that it takes, or actually not any items that it takes, it will not receive any items anymore, I believe is the case. Let's move this guy out of the way, actually. Oh, nope, it will eat items, I guess. Or no. Where'd it go? Oh, it went in there. Oh, because I'm not applying a redstone signal anymore. I'm smart. Let me grab this. Okay. Apply a redstone signal to this. And my lever just vanished. Oh, there it is. If I try to throw this item in here, you can see that it does not go into the hopper, whatever I do. So the hopper won't accept new items, and I believe any item that's in it will not be exported. Yeah, so this one would normally export directly into the chest. Because it's getting a signal, it won't do that. If I remove the signal, it will import into the chest. So we got my lever back. I should probably use a different item for that because it's hard to see the lever on camera. Okay, so this is where things get kind of interesting. I'm not sure what the applications for this are, but if you put an item in here and then you run it over the hopper with the detector rail on top, what happens is the item gets taken out of this guy, and it gets put into this hopper, but it doesn't get exported out because it's getting that redstone signal. Again, I'm not really sure what you do with this, but it's pretty interesting. Okay, so the last thing we'll look at is how hopper carts interact with these guys, activator rails. These are a relatively new addition. I don't know if they're this update or the last one, but yeah, they are pretty cool. You can apply a redstone signal to them, and they will apply a redstone signal to the minecart. They were added at the same time as the minecart with TNT because they're actually the only way to trigger those. As far as I know, they don't really have any effect on minecarts with furnaces or anything like that. They don't power anything next to them, so the only thing they power are minecarts with TNT and minecart with hoppers. So basically, if we turn both of these off and we put a minecart with hopper down and then we just give it a little push, oh, let's get it turned on. We have a perpetual circuit, so it's just gonna keep doing this loop. It's gonna keep doing the soup. Oh boy. Okay, so it's just going to keep doing this forever. If I throw a block on the track, it will pick up the block. Okay, so it's got it. Let me check it. Yep, it's in there. The grass block is there. Okay, so here's where it gets interesting. Let's actually pull this out. If you turn this on, and I put another block down on the track, it will not pick it up. But if I put one over here, it does pick it up, but it still isn't going to pick this one up. It'll pick up anything on this side, but not this side. Let me turn this off. And this off, because it's not going to stop if I don't. Alright, there it goes. So what's going on here? This is how you can activate and deactivate a minecart with hopper. So, let me pull that up. If a minecart with hopper passes over an activated or powered activator rail, it'll go into a state where it doesn't want to pick up anything. It doesn't want to pick up any blocks or any items that it finds along its path. If it passes over an unpowered one, it reverts to its original state and it will pick up items again. So that's why when it passes over this, it won't pick up anything until it hits this other activator rail, and then it will continue. So this state that it's in when it's powered persists until it reaches the next one. And that's pretty interesting. Again, this is something I don't know exactly where I would use it at, but knowing this stuff is very, very important. And then there's one other thing. What was I going to do? Now I don't remember. So, anyways, I think it might be. What was I saying? If you give this thing a redstone signal, let me grab a. Oh, I do have a lever. I need some redstone on me. If you provide a redstone signal to a hopper, you can still transfer items. Or no, you can't transfer items. Okay, that's not what I want then. What did I want? You know what? I don't even remember. I'm pretty sure even after it passes over, like right now it's not going to pick up anything. Yeah, I didn't pick that up. Okay. And I'm curious if I put something in it and then I pass it over a hopper, will it go into that hopper? Oh, need to put down a rail. Okay, it will still go into the hopper. So it won't pick up items, but it will still deposit items even after it's passed over the activator rail. Okay, pretty interesting. And that's basically everything I have to show you, so let's hop back over, hoppers, I'm sorry. Let's hop back over to the regular world and we will talk about a sorting system. Okay, so we're going to talk a little bit about Minecraft sorting with hoppers. I'm not really used to using vanilla hoppers for item sorting. When I do sorting for items, I'm usually playing modded Minecraft and I have a lot more alternatives. But you know, we're limited to what we can use in this, so basically we have hoppers and hoppers for item sorting and processing and moving them about. Not a whole lot of options. So, what we can do with hoppers. Couple of different things. One of the tricks with hoppers is that if you apply redstone signal, it won't send any items out of the hopper. Another trick is to use a comparator to detect how many items are inside the hopper. Once a certain number of items have been reached, you can basically use an inverted torch here, or an inverted signal, to tell it to turn on and begin sending the items out, and then turn off again when that item limit has been reached, when your item count has been reached. So here's basically what happens. Everything's revolving around this hopper. This is sort of the hopper where everything's happening. It's got a comparator hooked up to it, and it's being powered. Let me get rid of this. And it's currently being powered by this redstone torch, so it will not send or receive any items. It's currently filled with 1 rotten flesh, 16 netherrack, and then 17, 17, and 17. The only reasons I have these numbers in here of netherrack is so that the comparator detects that, and it sends the output exactly to this many blocks, enough so that it's just one short of reaching this block and turning off this torch. If I put one more item in it, the comparator will detect that there's, you know, a certain number of items in here, and it will extend the redstone signal one more. This torch will turn off, this hopper will activate. The reason I have all of these slots filled up is because hoppers always exit or always export items from the leftmost slot first. So you always want to fill up these 4 slots and then the leftmost slot. Then lastly, I have this hopper pointing to the final one here. This will be our sort of our output. Then we have an input hopper here with nothing attached to it. So pretty simply, if we want to sort out rotten flesh, we can set this up. We can put a chest right here. And what this chest will do is it'll basically get rotten flesh out of our system. So if we throw in some rotten flesh, it ends up here. Rotten flesh is now in this final hopper. So what happened? Again, like I said, if I throw it in here, can't really do it from there, can I? You can see that the torch briefly flickers off. What's happening is once this rotten flesh hits this here, the comparator then sends the rest of this redstone signal. It hits the cobblestone, the torch turns off, the hopper turns on, it sends that one item, the comparator updates once again, and shortens the length of its signal, and the torch therefore turns on, and we send no more items via the hopper. Pretty simple. I guess, you know, if you want to call it simple. And what I don't know, and I really need to experiment more with this, is how to sort multiple items. Because I can see doing this for one item, but then I run into an issue when I want to sort more than one item. Like if I have a chest and I fill it with, let's say rotten flesh. Yeah, so we have a chest up here. It's filled with rotten flesh and bones. I can take the rotten flesh out and then all I'm left with is bones. But I don't know what I would then do with those bones, because you can only take items out of a chest from below. You can only hook up one hopper, and hoppers can only point in one direction. So it's always going to be a linear path. Wait, no, that's incorrect. That's not right, because we have minecarts with hoppers. There we go. Okay, we got it now. I was thinking, I was thinking to myself, you know, what if you could use a piston to push a hopper? I don't know if you can, but we should test that because I feel like that's important. Let's do this. Okay, if I use a piston here, will this push the hopper? No, it doesn't. Okay. Which doesn't change anything. Basically, what you would do, and what I'm going to do, I guess, with this chest down here, this is my chest where all of my junk ends up in. What you do is you have this hopper. Oh, there's a dude in here. There's a witch. He's gonna throw that at me. Okay, guess not. Cool. They're dropping the sticks and the glowstone and the sugar. So basically what I would do is I would have a chest, or not a chest, but have the hopper point into a... Actually, I might point it into a chest. Okay, so point it into a chest and then have another hopper point into a hopper with minecart. And that minecart would fill up with the contents of this chest. You then send the minecart along and it goes over hoppers that are set up just like this. So hopper system set up like this. And if you pretend that this hopper is instead a hopper with a minecart, when it passes over this array, what it'll do is it'll only import rotten flesh. Because that's all the space that's in here. The only issue with that, unfortunately, is that it'll only input one item at a time, which is pretty slow, as far as I can tell. Like, let's dump a whole stack of rotten flesh in here and see how fast that goes through. It's okay. I guess it's an okay speed. It's like it's filling up faster. Oh, maybe not. All I'm concerned with is how quick this empties. So yeah, you'd have one for rotten flesh, one for something else, one for something else, one for something else. And then you'd have chests all along, and that would be your system. That would be your sorting system. That's pretty cool. Yeah, I like that. Okay. Okay, there's probably another way to do it, but I can't think of one. I want to have maybe a sorting system down here. I'm not sure. Or possibly do it in, like, down here, which is a room that I never finished. Forgot I had all these down here. These don't make noise? Or do they? And I just can't hear them. Oh well. Yeah, because I want to have the minecart come along. Oh, I know where we can do this. Right down here in this new area that I just made. So this could be like a mass storage area where the minecart comes in and it deposits all of the items. Yeah. Yeah, that'd be pretty cool. We should set this up. Okay, that's the plan for next episode. Now that I've taken you guys along with a ride where I figure out what I'm doing. Yeah, I think we'll do that next episode because I think that would be the way to go. Still getting a lot of witches. He dropped spider eyes? And glass bottles? Really? Really? Okay then. Yeah, I think that's about it for today. Let me know if you have any questions or comments or thoughts or suggestions, if you got any of those as well. Pretty cool. And yeah, that'll do it for me today. It's nice to be back in Michigan. Yeah, until next time then.